Hello, everybody. It's Bob Anderson, and it is February 7th, 2023. Uh, we had one of those days where, I don't know, I probably should have done a live this morning. I was busy. I was out of the office all day. I didn't even trade um, because I had to set a house. But I probably should have done a live this morning because, Jerome Powell was going to, his pie hole about 12:30 or so. That meant the market was going to be stale, um, at least in the morning, and that's what it turned out to be, was stale. So the place to have been playing at all would have been oil. Um, Little side note on oil. uh, I think I've said this before. There's quite a few people that send me emails and they'll say, can you look at my trades, tell me what I did wrong, and I'll, critique if I can, or I'll say you did that right or whatever from my perspective. Of course, this is all from my perspective. Doesn't make me right, make you wrong, whatever. But anyways, there was a gentleman from Poland that sent me his first email a little over 2 weeks ago or so. And I mean, he attempted to take a continuation trade, and he had followed the pullback all the way below all the 1 minute moving averages. And then it finally broke and he took it, and he's like, the trade didn't work. He's like, can you tell me what I did wrong? And I was like, oh my God. Anyways, the point of this is I gave him a little bit of feedback and I sent him some videos to look at. Fast forward X number of weeks later, this guy studied all this stuff, because today, as an example, just today, I mean, this has been going on for a while, but even today, he nailed two beautiful continuation trades in oil. I mean, a couple other things. I mean, it's just like, he's sending me pictures of his trades and stuff. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And he's like, and he's telling me how he gets it now. Like, he can see, he knows what I'm talking about when I say a smooth, sharp pullback. Because he says, I can see the price action. He says, I can see the fighting going on. And I'm like, that's exactly it. They're fighting, cleaning out like on a continuation long, they're cleaning out the shorts, cleaning them out, the stops. And then just as soon as they get that thing hung up, it's wham, it's gone. And that's exactly it. He took two of them today. I'll show them to you. Anyways, one of the things I want to talk about is I told you guys I was working on an indicator, or having one worked on, I should say. I don't know the damn thing about a computer. So I'm having one done. What I'm doing is actually testing it and running it, and then going back to the person that coded it and getting it massaged and fixed, because I want it to do what I want it to do. And so I started with the easiest one, if you want to know the truth, and that's the 5-minute gold line. That's the easiest one to code. And that's the one I've got on my charts right now. I'm going to kind of show you roughly how it works right now. And I'm going to tell you what, today that thing would have made you a beast of money. A beast of money. And I'm going to show you. I love the 5-minute gold line anyways. The cool part about this indicator is I've got it set up so that it vocally tells you out loud where that the trade is setting up. It vocally tells you out loud when the trade becomes valid. It shows you right on a chart exactly where the entry is. If you choose to take that trade, it literally tells you the price. And then if the candles keep moving and they go lower, but it's still valid, when the 1 minute chart changes, it'll show you where the new price is and tell you, here's your new price. I mean, it's slick as eel shit. And then, for example, if a candle opens and closes below that gold line, say you're looking for a 5-minute gold line long, when that candle closes, it tells you trade's invalid. I mean, it tells you canceled trade. I mean, it's good stuff. But what I have to do right now is continue to test it, continue to make sure it's working when I believe the setups are valid. Forget the results. When the setups are valid, then I need to back test it. Okay, so that's kind of the stages I'm at, but I am working on it, and I'll show you it today. By the way, the picture entry to this video is the picture of it showing a line where the trade's supposed to be and an indicator that here's where the trade is. So that's what I did, the picture to this video. What I want to talk about today, just quickly, to get you an idea what kind of indicators I'm working on and how price action normally works with my continuation trades. Because in essence, this is your goal, this is your 5-minute gold line, this is your 1-minute gold line, this is your 5-minute red line, okay? And this is price. So normally what happens, and this is where my little guy from Poland is nailing them right here, nailing them here, nailing them there. I mean, he's just nailing them. He's just nailing them. But anyways, what I want to show you is that what price tends to do in a rhythmic market. And I've talked about this, but I just, and why I'm creating these indicators in different spots. Okay. So when this is the 1-minute gold line, when it comes up, boom, this is where it gets tricky. This is what people don't quite grasp. And you really need to grasp. And this is why these indicators are not as simple as you might think. Okay? And that is, you got to count 1. You got to count 2. Because here's what normally happens. This is attempt 1. It's got to pierce. By the way, it's got to pierce that gold line. If it doesn't pierce that gold line, then it's not even an attempt. You'll see a lot of times where it runs kind of down and then up and then runs kind of down and then up and then pierces. It's when it's piercing that's truly attempt 1. So you got to have a counter that's counting these things, and you got to have this, because as I've always talked about, when the market's in rhythm, this one's going to be your better one. This is going to be your next one, and then here's number 3. That's the one that goes like that, and boom, it's gone. Okay? So what I don't need to do is create an indicator that every time the stupid thing touches the gold line, it tells you to take a trade. That'd be stupid. It needs to count. It needs to know how to look for a reset. And I mean, I'm getting there. We've got this. I've got it honed in really good on the 5-minute gold line. So to be able to lay it in for the 1-minute continuation, it's just going to take a little bit more programming, because again, with the 1-minute continuation, you've got a pivot high that you have a look back period of about 1 hour. You want to be able to see that you're in new territory, that everything before it is below that. Okay? These are important things. You got to be able to look back to your left to see if you're going into new areas. If you're not going into new areas, you're just consolidating. So that means this is not going to have the follow through to the upside if you're sitting still in this. Okay? So you got the thrust, the look back from your pivot. You got the look back for your hour. And for this to work on the continuation, this has to be smooth. So the tops have to be either equal or lower. Remember that? Does everybody remember that? I hope you remember that. And then you got your break of the candle, and then wham, up to here. And then this has got to be, again, look back. It's because this has got this, for this to be valid for number 2, this has got to break that. Okay? It's got to break the pivot that got you into trade number 1. Okay? And then when it goes up, normally it's never going to break this anyway, so it wouldn't be a valid trade pulling back. But if for some reason it does, this is still attempt number 3. What's going to happen is it's going to go up and then down 9 times out of 10. Okay? Unless the market is in some major trending day, which those are very rare, to be honest. Okay? So what happens once you have 1, 2, 3? Well, then that's when your 5-minute gold line is trailing. Same concept. Now you got to have this kick in when it pierces and it breaks and it goes. The difference between this trade and this trade is the pullback doesn't have to be smooth. Okay? It doesn't have to be smooth. It's because it's a total different mindset on this trade. This is Speedy Gonzalez, this trade. This is more like, this is like your walking bull. Actually, that is your bull. That's your big shark, okay? You got your different sharks. These are your tiger sharks. These are your great white sharks, okay? If you know anything about sharks. And so here's your great white shark. He doesn't really care. He doesn't really care how the pullback came. Just as long as the pullback came, that you pierced his veil and then you broke, okay? And the same concept, you're going to have a 1 and a 2 and then a 3. And when the third one gives up, that's when you're going to get your rollover to your 5-minute gold line, your 5-minute red line, okay? And boom. And by the way, that right there, just like it does so many, write this one down. Write this golden nugget down. That trade right there this afternoon in oil, boom. I mean, I'll tell you right now, it went for 40, it went for 40, 50, 60, 70 points today in oil. And it does it very routinely late in the afternoon, like 12:30, 1 o'clock. That trade right there in oil. It's been doing it over and over and over and over again for the past few weeks. It hits that red line when oil's just kind of being lazy and rotating, and it hits that freaking red line, and boom, it's gone. So, anyways, know your instrument, know your trades, and that's another thing. When I'm creating these instruments, these indicators, I got to tweak each one of them depending on what instrument they're going to be used on too, because some instruments act differently than others. The gap that you need for this 5-minute gold line for it to be a valid, remember on the 5-minute gold line, you're looking for space to your left on your long. You're looking for space to your left on your long. You're looking for space to your right on your short. You have to be able to get a certain amount of space depending on the instrument for this trade right here to be valid. Okay, that's another element going into the indicator. And each one of them is different depending on if it's oil or if it's the ES. And then the back testing is going to help me tweak that in even more. Okay? So those are the things I'm working on. It's really coming along. I'm going to show you what it kind of looks like today. All right? And then we're going to get it out. All right, here we go. Geez, I'm already 13 minutes into this. Sorry. So here is the ES. Sorry. Here is the ES. Late. So this is when it's closed. So let's just get over here. By the way, what I did just to kind of do this little thing, I actually got rid of my 1-minute gold line, my 1-minute red line. I just got rid of that stuff so we could just kind of see a clean chart, because I'm only showing the 5-minute gold line on this because that's the one I've got programmed. So what you may not see right here, okay? What you may not see right here, because I'll get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. See, this candle's actually blue, okay? That was a setup for the 5-minute gold line on the ES. This candle turned blue. The computer says long, and it tells you here's your entry right here. So your top is 152.75. Your entry is actually 153. It told you your entry is 153. Let's just see how that 5-minute gold line performed. Okay. It worked for 20 points. Oh, it worked for more than 20 points. Oh, it worked for 30 points. Oh, it worked for 30 points. It only worked for 30 points, so don't worry about that trade. Anyways, it only worked for 30 points, so don't even worry about it. Before it even came back and pierced, By the way, here's attempt number 2. See how this candle's blue? It's telling you here's trade 2, because it'll only let you take 3 of them the first time. So here's trade 2. Went blue, so your long would have been there. Then when this candle right here opened and closed below there, it told you invalid trade. So you no longer trailed it. Okay? And let's see here. Then we had the end of the market. So let's see this trade right here. Let's see how this trade set up. That gold line. So let's do that. Let's just do that. Okay? So here we had the market way up here. See it crossed. This is when Powell, okay, we'll go over here. This is when Powell started talking. So we have to start looking for trading after he's done running his pie hole. This is exactly, he started talking at 1240. Look at that, 1242. Wham, 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 wham. He's telling his lies. Anyway, so then the market comes down. Here's this one's telling you to take a long. I'm not sure I would have done it. I don't know if Powell's done running his pie hole or not. But anyways, when the trade would have been 153.50, it never triggered because the candles opened and closed underneath. Okay, and then it rolled over, and here's your overnight open, and it just plowed right through that. My gosh. So now you're looking for a short off the gold line. Same thing over here. See this candle turned yellow? This one's yellow because it's telling you to get ready for a short. When that candle closed, not only was it telling you there's a short, it was telling you where the entry was. Once again, the candles rolled up, no trigger. So you had 2 times that this thing yelled at you after Powell was done talking that, hey, here's a trade. Neither time did you actually end up getting suckered into a trade that failed. And then wham, it rolled up. This candle right here turns blue. Not that it matters, but it's telling you. So like you could be watching TV, you could be, doing whatever. Wham, boom, bam. That one went for 30 points. So this afternoon, after Powell got done talking, your 5-minute gold line indicator gave you 3 signals, of which only 1 triggered, and that one worked obviously for more than your 5 points. So let's talk about oil. Same thing, I got these things set up over here, so let's get into oil. Ooh, I like oil. Anyway, so I put the gold line on here just for a second because I want to show you the trades that my guy from Poland took. I just want to show them to you. All right, so here's 945. Okay, here's 945. Remember, I don't start trading oil till after 945. Here's your gold line long. Now, why it said long was because at the time, this red line was still below it. So it was telling you to take a long there. Well, then this one closed, says, nope, no trade. Ironically, if it had gone up earlier, it would have been a great trade. But anyways, so, because here's your high. It looked to your left. You didn't have anything for a while. Blue, blue, bloom. Then all of a sudden, wham, here's your continuation. Now, let's do some deep conversation right here before this video gets too long. Here's what my young man from Poland is looking at. Okay, he's looking at this pivot high. He's looking at this as a crossover. By the way, somewhere in here was the 1-minute red line. Here's a crossover. Here's his first attempt. Okay, these are the things going through his head. This was a high. This was a high. This was a lower high. This was a lower high. This one was an equal lower high. This one kept pulling back. Oh, my favorite. I love when the candle pulls back real deep and then closes. Okay. This pivot high was never, you hadn't even been there for an hour. You go back over here and look at the pivot, 858, 958, an hour. So you're breaking out of consolidation. All this junk was going on down here for an hour. You're long, 75.40, wham. My God, that thing ran to 80. That thing ran 40 ticks. He took 25. He took 25 on that trade. Anyway, so let's go. Roll back. No second entry. Never even triggered one. So you didn't even get an attempt number 2. Came down to your gold line. Okay, so here's your blue telling you to take potentially a gold line long. Okay, never triggered. Pull back in, so the trade's dead. Now you're in consolidation, consolidation, consolidation. And then, wham, another. Here's a breakdown. Here's it telling you a short, never triggered. Never triggered because it never broke. Once again, new pivot high, boom. This is the second one he took for 20 ticks. This one was 15.35 right there. That one actually went 22 ticks. Rolled over, attempt 2, didn't go up as high and then failed. That's normally how that goes. So let's get into the afternoon now. Let's get into the afternoon. I know I'm going fast, folks, but I got some people that get mad at me when I make these videos too long, even though I don't know why I give a rat's ass. It's 20 minutes of my time. But anyways, let's keep watching this. Let's keep watching this. Oh, there's your first attempt. After your crossover, so you crossed over here, cross over your gold line. This is your first attempt on your 5-minute gold line right there. Nothing. This candle right here opened and closed below that gold line. It negated the trigger, so this did not get dropped down. You didn't get sucked in. You didn't get rolled over. Okay? So for whatever reason, the first attempt of the gold line did not work. But you know what did work at 12:35 in the afternoon? The first attempt of the 5-minute red line. And let me tell you something. Go back and look at your charts. Go back and do exactly what I'm talking about right now. Go back and look at oil after 12 o'clock. First time it rolls back to the 5-minute red line, and see what happens. Here's your entry right here. Your entry is 49. Your pivot is here, so your stop is at 41. You're risking 8 ticks. You're in at 49. I mean, it didn't even slow down until 89. I mean, here's 89. There's 40 ticks. It didn't even slow down until you got 40 ticks. Didn't even slow down. It's what I keep talking about. Make sure your entries are on the break and make sure you keep your stops tight. Get yourself on that edge. Make sure you're either triggering 1 or 2 here, or 1 or 2 here, or 1 or 2 there. Look back to your left. See if you're in new territory on when you're going into these trades especially. Are you into new territory or not? If you're not, you're just going through the motions and trying to make a trade out of something that's not there. Anyways, I'm working on these indicators to make it easier for you to recognize what is a good trade and what's not, because it's easier for me to program for it to look to the left than for you to have to look to the left. It also makes it easier for you to trade it if, because you can actually be doing something else. I know it's hard to sit here and stare at this chart until 12:30 and then all of a sudden the best trade of the day in oil hits, or until 3 o'clock and the best trade in the ES hits. The best trade. 30 points in the ES. That trade in oil went for probably, hold on, I don't even know. Yeah, it went before it even broke any pivots at all. Before it ever even broke any pivots at all, it went for 52 points before it ever broke a pivot. So, anyways, talk to you guys later. Bye.